Dímelo, Corillo! It's your boy, SPX500! And we're back at it again with another video. Today is election day, and you know what? I trade election day, and you know what I did? I fucking smashed a trade. I made a good, I believe, 0.5% on my 50K eval on Top Sub. I'm still working on that eval, so I can get funded. So let's get into this trade. Let's go into the 1 hour. I knew we were going to be bullish today for the most part, just because of we were in this big range, not big range, but we were consolidating all through London and before that, and Judas gave us a push immediately to the upside. Let's go down to a little more lower time frame. So here, as you can see, at 9 we made this low. We took out previous session low, I believe. Let me check this out. Boom, at 9 Q3 opens, wipe out a previous quarter's low. What is that? That gives us SMT with NASDAQ, because as you can see, let's put this. Let's give us SMT because Q4 of London session was being wiped out and previous quarter was being wiped out at 9 a.m. and then it gave us a push to the upside. I knew to take S&P 500 just because of this lower high, or a higher low that was being made. Okay, let's take this off. Now at 9:30 I knew we were going to be displaced to the upside just because I saw that 9:30 was pushing higher in the 1 hour chart. You could just clearly see we're bullish. I'm not going to go against the trend. I'm going to keep pushing, and I'm going to find an entry to try to take out buy side liquidity, and that's what ended up happening. But in the higher time frame, we do have a CRT model, and that's why I was targeting this high at the same time, because yesterday we wiped out previous day Friday's low, and then what do? It's a CRT model right here. We closed inside of Friday's low inside the wick, and then what do on Tuesday? We pushed a little bit lower, and then we displaced through Friday's high. So that's just one way of seeing the market. CRT models, I'm a big fan of combining CRT with quarterly theory. But the fun thing was NQ made equal lows right here. These two were equal lows. So I wasn't sure if we were going to push through on NQ. We ended up seeing that since S&P 500 was going to hit fair value gap, I wanted NQ to be drawing liquidity on the daily fair value gap. I knew that this high was probably going to be hit and the daily fair value gap. So that was our draw on liquidity on the higher time frame, was just all this low resistance liquidity, all this right here. Low resistant liquidity run. That's what I wanted. You know why I call that low resistance liquidity? Because look at just all the stacked highs that we have, and we never wiped up. We never wipe it. So that's what I wanted. I wanted all of this liquidity to be taken out. That's where all the orders are resting. Now, for the rest of the week, we are more than likely going to, since we respected consequential encroachment of this fair value gap, as you can see, consequential encroachment right in the middle, dead smack in the middle. Look at that. Boom. Good rejection off of it. More than likely, we're going to be trading on a downtrend for the rest of the week after our new president is elected today. So no matter what, more than likely NQ and S&P 500 is probably all going to sink and go lower before going higher, because we need a correct price right now. Price in the higher time frame has been very, very bullish. But that's besides the point. Let's go back into the entry. As I said, 9:30 pushed way higher. And so what I was just looking for was just a little dip in price in order to catch a trade, because I knew more than likely it's not going to give us a full, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't going to give us a equilibrium or OTE price leg to push higher. This could have been an early entry at 943 on this fair value gap. If you put that, you entered there, and then you tried taking profits all the way up here, that would have been a really good trade. Would have been an amazing RR. Probably would have entered at the top of the fair value gap. I probably would have either put it in consequential encroachment of this fair value gap, or put it all the way to the low and then rip this all the way up here. Should have made me a 1 to 3. And as you can see, it did end up hitting all the way over here. But that's not what I took. What I took was I waited longer till 950. This was another entry, another fair value gap that I missed out. So I'm like, okay, so this is just gonna keep making fair value gaps, tap it, and keep moving, running. So I was like, okay, the next fair value gap we run in and we retrace into, I'm jumping in, because I don't think we were ever gonna see any of these lows today. We're not gonna touch any of these lows today. So I was like, okay, perfect, money set up for me. I'm gonna wait for fair value gap. Boom. See, you don't have to pressure your trades. As you can see, there's multiple trade setups, multiple entries. I don't have to rush and be like, oh, I need to get in right now. And then what happens if the price just wants to come back to these and push after? You're gonna get stopped out. You're gonna get mad that you didn't have the right trade. But since I saw this push higher, we're bullish. Boom, another fair value I created, rejected, boom, bullish. So I'm like, okay, the next time if we get another fair value gap pushed into, I'm gonna take that as soon as possible. What did I do? Fair value gap, boom, entered, set my stop loss, I believe was right under these fair value gaps. It was at 1 to 2.6, but we were getting so close to take profit. I did end up moving my stop loss around here, because I knew this time was the 1050 macro. 1050 macro in my notes usually says if 950 macro expands just like this right here, this is a good expansion. This was a expansion from the 950 macro. All this was expansion. More than likely 1050, whenever we get to that time frame, we're gonna be pushing, like price can reverse. And around this time, 1050 was when we reached the daily fair value gap on NQ. So I was like, okay, we just wiped this high right here at 11, and then SP500 has not wiped that high. It did not wipe that high at that time. Look, this is the same high from NASDAQ, but we were in a daily fair value gap. So I'm like, okay, I need to be careful here. I'm probably just going to move my stop loss just because today's election, I don't know what's going to happen. And it was a small risk that I had on my 50K eval, but it's also eval. So like, why would it matter for me not to trade or trade it? So that's why I just decided to trade it. And I did make a decent amount of money on that. But as you know, we kill the charts every day. Let's keep grinding. Election day can suck it. I mean, I don't care. I don't care what happens on election day. Because I know I'm gonna grind every day on these charts, every single day, and I know I'm gonna be on top, and I'll be making a lot of money out of this very soon. I'm confident on that. So you already know, it's your boy SMT Pop, back at it again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.